Hello guys, welcome to the F Money Show. We are live today. I don't have a script and I hope everything is okay. So let me just ask everyone here in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Okay, we have a delay of a few seconds, so you are still getting okay. So can you just write on the chat if you can hear me, just write a 1. If you can't hear me, just write a 0. Okay, that's good. Okay, guys. So let's. Today this is an experimental stream. I am live. It's the first time I stream the FU Money Show live, so if I have any mistakes, please forgive me. I hope the sound will be okay to the end of the stream. And the first mistake was the music. While we were just waiting for the stream, the music was not playing. So everything is okay now. Let me just turn off my phone because it's beeping here all the time. Okay, so before anything else, let's just go to the charts, and I will share my screen. So here we are, the price to time model. As usual, we start here. We have a breakout today. So let's see. Everything looks nice. The price action is below the curved exponential line. Our weekly candle finally turned green since yesterday, so we had a breakout today. Everyone knows this already for sure. The world is talking about this. So as to the price to time model right now, I believe everything looks nice and healthy. So let's go to the MRI. And we will start by the weekly chart. Okay, so the weekly chart is very, very bullish. You remember that Tone Vase and also me now, because I was updating my charts today, have this ascending triangle on the weekly and the daily. And finally, we broke out of the triangle to the upside. So we have an extension B for this candle. However, the candle is really strong, and I believe this breakout of the ascending triangle will be continued by some price action to the upside. As you can see, the previous week we had this buy signal with the green star, and we are just on a third candle green of 9, so everything looks good on the weekly. The weekly chart to me is very, very bullish. And let's check the daily chart, where you can see the triangle in a better shape. Here we are. So the green triangle means that this is a bullish ascending triangle. We have now broke the 59 to the upside. We are now above 60. And on the daily chart, we had the textbook correction on the MRI top, and 1, 2, 3, 4 candles correction. And now we touch the bottom of the triangle, and we are now going to the upside again after breaking out of the triangle. This was an anomaly, in my opinion. We just broke here, and then we came back into the triangle again. But now we are getting to the end of the triangle, to the rightmost corner, and I believe that this could be the beginning of a breakout that could take us to the low 70s or high 60s. So I would bet that we are around the 68 to 72 for the next move up, but let's see what happens. The volume, as you guys can see, continues to go down. Let me just check. So no one is complaining. I guess everything is going fine with the live stream. So I was saying that the volume continues to go down, as you can see here. Let me just zoom a bit. First on the triangle, so that you guys can see everything I was saying. And we can also zoom here a bit on the volume. And as you guys can see, the volume is slowly going down, which is not something I really like. If you are having a breakout, you should have a bigger volume. However, the breakout is there. I see a lot of strength in this breakout because, guys, I'm just going to talk to you about this after we see the charts. But the BitMEX funding rate is completely nuts today. So let's see what happens. However, the RSI is going up, as you can see here. It turned up exactly when the breakout occurred. We are not in overbought territory, so we still have a lot of room to go to the upside. The MACD is now turning bullish. As you can see, the blue line is now trying to cross above the orange line. The bars are going to flip to the upside, and everything looks bullish except for this. This, in my opinion, is the only thing I don't like about this breakout. The BitMEX funding rate is nuts, and I will just explain in the next chart. So let's go to the 4-hour. Okay, so very bullish configuration structure. The price action is, as you can see, the breakout occurred exactly on this candle after the buy signal was displayed, the green star here. Let me just zoom a bit. So we had on this candle here, just reaching the top of the triangle, we had the buy signal with the green star. Then the breakout occurred. We went really high. We corrected a bit, and this is now accumulation, in my opinion, although we have a warning signal that the next candle is going to be a 9 candle, a green 9 of 9. So the next one will be an MRI top on the 4-hour. That could be that could mean a bit of a retracement from this breakout, but I don't see the breakout stopping here. Even if we have a small retracement back to the top of the triangle, I believe that this breakout will continue in the next hours and days, and we will soon reach the 70K level. Also, the moving averages, as you guys know already, I usually have 4 moving averages: the 200 period, which is the purple, the 100 period, which is the red, then I have the yellow, which is the 50 period, and the green, which is the 20 period. The 20 period is now crossing to the upper side of the yellow, and when that happens, all the moving averages will be in the right order, showing bullish sign of price action to the upside to this market. Okay, so let's continue. The RSI on the 4-hour is still not in overbought territory. The MACD is now going to the upside, crossing over the bars. The bars are not showing any decay except for a small difference here that corresponds to this small retracement. However, this is what I don't like. This is the BitMEX funding rate. The breakout was stopped on its tracks because of this bar here. This bar corresponds exactly to the same candle that got out of the triangle, and it was completely crazy at 0.45. So 0.45%. People went nuts longing Bitcoin as it broke out of the triangle. But the good sign here is that the funding rate is going back down, and we are now around 0.22. So it's not so extended as these 0.45 we had a few hours ago, but now I guess we are going down, and I heard already that a lot of longs were liquidated. and we went back down again. So I hope this BitMEX funding rate goes below the 0.11 threshold again and allows the price action to move to the upside. Let's just confirm on the 1 hour chart that we have the BitMEX funding rate going down. Exactly. So we had a lot of bars to the upside while the breakout was occurring, and now we are going lower and stabilizing around this level, which is the 0.2. So I believe we still have some way to go on the BitMEX funding rate. We have to go below the 0.11 if we want the breakout to continue. But as you guys can see, we have right now a good accumulation area here, and it's not showing any signs of going back down, but you never know with the funding rate so high. Okay, so let's just go quickly to the pro indicator strategy. Here it is. We broke the third range boundary. We broke the third range boundary, dashed orange line here, and we retraced back down to the same line, and now we are going up again. So the third range boundary could become a support in the near future. This is a very good configuration or structure for this price action, and I believe that we still have some room to go at least to the 62 before any kind of retracement could occur, because we have this resistance context, which is the gray area here on top. This is the support context. Both of them are going up, as you can see. Also, the moving average for this pro framework is going up, and the trend channel is the only thing that worries me a bit. Is this: we are close to the upper side of the trend channel, which is the red zigzag line here, and we are getting distant from the bottom of the trend channel, which is the green zigzag here. So I believe we still have some room to go. As you can see, this was invalidated as a fifth range boundary. If you saw my video from yesterday, you noticed that we had around here in this area, we had the yellow line, the zigzag yellow line, going there, forming a range boundary and going back down to this area, but it was a dashed line, so it was not confirmed already. And now the yellow zigzag line is updating and going to the upside. So this was invalidated as a range boundary, and this was invalidated as the next range boundary. So this is the perfect structure for a breakout, and that's what I'm hoping happens. We might, on the short term, according to the momentum indicator and the sine wave indicator here in the bottom, we might have in the short term some kind of retracement, because we are now in overextended territory, and I see a divergence here, and it could mean that while we go down, we could go back a bit. So we could retrace a bit here and maybe retest the breakout area or the top of the triangle, which is in the other charts. But I see this as a very healthy breakout and no big problems. I don't see any really big problems in the future for this breakout of Bitcoin. Okay, guys, so I guess for the analysis, we are done for now. So let me just look here. And of course, as promised, I will read the chat. You know, this is we are still just a few guys in this channel and to this show, so it's easy for me to read your messages, because there are not so many people like in Tonve's live streams, for example, where he needs a lot of moderators for the chat. So let's see if I can keep up with you guys here in the chat. Okay. So, any questions? Let's see here. Today for the Bitcoin price, guys, I found something in the chart. Yeah, Tiago says that nice day for the first live stream. Sure, it was actually you know, I knew that the breakout was going to occur. That's why I asked you guys to vote for Saturday. I'm joking. I'm just joking. Yeah, this was a great day to start the live streams, and with a nice breakout, as you guys can see here. So thanks for your comment, and let's see. But David Starina, hey, nice to see you here on the live chat. You have been exchanging some messages with me on Twitter, and very interesting ones, by the way. But the funding rate will probably grow on any such huge breakout. Well, from my experience, let me go back to the funding rate, so we can use the 1 hour. We can use the 1 hour chart. From my experience, every time there is a breakout like this, the funding rate goes completely nuts to the upside, and then if you start to consolidate the price, usually the funding rate starts to go back down a bit, because people don't like to continue with the longs open and paying huge amounts of fees because the funding rate is high and not seeing the market going up. So usually what happens is, not even counting the longs that are liquidated, of course, because of some retracements and guys that went long really late in this breakout. But if you see this kind of structure in the price, let me just zoom in again. When you see this kind of structure, when you have this breakout and then you start to consolidate a bit and you have a small retracement, what usually happens is people are paying extremely high fees to keep the longs open, and the market is not going anywhere. It's just going sideways. So usually they take the profits and they close the positions, because they don't want to lose all the profits just by paying the fees every 8 hours or 4 hours, depending on what exchange you are trading with leverage. So basically that's one of the reasons why you see the funding rate going back down, because I bet a lot of people already cashed out some profit and they don't want to pay any more fees at that rate, of course, of 0.45 as we had before, and that's why they are closing the longs and taking the profits, cashing out the profits. So that's why the funding rate goes down when the market goes sideways. That's my opinion, of course. So it might have someone else might have a different opinion or a more insightful explanation to this, but this is what I think happens when the market goes sideways. Okay, let's see here. Grayscale stopped buying according to TradingView. Well, I don't have any information regarding that. I don't know if they stopped buying. Maybe they stopped buying. Hank Jones was saying that Grayscale stopped buying according to TradingView. I don't really know. I don't have any information about this. I just know that they are trying to move on from the GBTC model to the ETF model. So I don't know if for that to happen, maybe they have to suspend buying Bitcoin for some time until they change the model for the company. So probably that could happen, but I don't have any real information about that. David is asking me to check the Ethereum. I usually don't check Ethereum because I don't have any charts even ready for that. But let's see if this is the first live stream. And of course, you guys are going to forgive me if I make some, if shit happens. So let's see if I have any chart here for the Ethereum. Ethereum, BTC, okay, maybe this one here. Okay, what can I see immediately when I open the Ethereum BTC chart? We are forming, let me just getting this. So we form the bottom here, and then we are having higher lows and higher highs. So this structure for me is bullish. I believe that Ethereum versus Bitcoin is going to maybe revisit the days of 0.5. That would be very good, by the way, because I would really like that. For me, I have some Ethereum bags I want to I want to unload into Bitcoin, so I hope we could see some 0.5 prices for Ethereum BTC ticker. But the first look I have of this chart is, of course, that we formed the bottom around here last year, in 2019, and since then we have been going up steadily, not really with big movements, but we have been steadily going up, and the price action for the weekly chart is bullish. Let's see, so we are on the second candle of 9 to the green. Yeah, so I believe we still have some room to the upside here, and the 200 moving average just started on this one, so it's really recent. We don't have much data. And by the way, let me check what chart is this. This is Coinbase chart, so I don't even have a specific chart to check Ethereum. Let's just check the daily. Yeah, exactly. So we have been forming a bottom here. This has sustained the price really strong on the 0.3, and now we are going up again, and we had an MRI top, and the price is just going sideways on the daily, but I believe that we could soon see Ethereum also joining Bitcoin on this breakout and possibly going for higher levels close to 0.4 or 0.5. So that's my opinion for Ethereum BTC. Let me just let me check. Though this is the daily. And let me check here with versus the dollar. I much more like this one than the Ethereum BTC. I think this is even more bullish than the previous chart I was checking. This price structure again is showing higher highs, higher lows, and although this is a C extension, so the pressure to the downside here is a bit strong, but I believe that the next candle, so starting tomorrow, we could see also a breakout of the Ethereum, and possibly going to see also new all-time highs, which is already, this is already the all-time high. The previous one was here, and this is now above the all-time high, but struggling because it's a C extension on the MRI, so the pressure to the downside is still high. But I believe that starting tomorrow, if we have a second candle here, a number 2 candle, a green number 2 candle going above the number 1, this would be a very bullish indication that we could see also a breakout for Ethereum. Okay, let me check what else is here. So I hope I answered you, David. Are you concerned about the weekend breakout and the come? No, I'm not really concerned. For the short term, you might see. So this is Rob. Rob is asking if I'm concerned about the weekend breakout and the come. So I guess he means that we could have this breakout for the weekend, and then Monday we could go back to the lower prices. I believe in the long term we are going up. We still have a lot of room to go. I'm not predicting any big corrections unless we overextend the price action to the upside. We cross the exponential curved line of the P2T model, and in that case I believe we could have a big correction, but for now I see a lot of strength in buying Bitcoin. I believe that we are going to the upside, even if we have a small correction like 5-10% in the next few days, just a small retracement, which is normal when you have a breakout, but I see a lot of room to the upside. So let me continue here. Are you expect top of this weekly expected top? Well, I'm expecting the a few more weeks of upside price action. This is ER asking me if what is my expected top of this weekly run. So if we go back to the weekly chart, let me go back here. So if you check the weekly chart, we are still on a 3 of 9. So I expect a few more weeks of upside, of course, with some retracements, because this breakout, of course, needs to retrace and continue up. Nothing goes up indefinitely. But I see a few more weeks of upside, even because the count for the MRI was reset, which is good. Because if it was not reset, we would be topping about here, or 6, 7, 8, 9. So the previous week would be the MRI top, and that would not be very good for this breakout. However, we had a reset of the count, and now we are on a 3 of 9, green, and I expect at least 5 to 6 more weeks of upside. At least 5 weeks of upside. Let's see more questions. Okay, we have a hi, Paulo. Paulo is a friend since many years ago, and he's asking me what is the BitMEX funding rate. So BitMEX is an exchange where you can where you can trade with leverage. And usually when you trade with leverage, this means that you are borrowing money to trade the asset that you chose to trade. And when you borrow money to trade that asset, you have to pay a fee for interest. Basically, it's like interest rate. When you ask the banks for money to buy a house, you also pay interest on that money. So when you borrow on that exchange to trade the asset with leverage, which means that you can trade an asset, for example, you can use $1,000, and if you use 10x leverage on those $1,000, it's like if you are buying that asset with $10,000. So of course the profit is higher, but you have to pay a fee, and the risk of trading with leverage is also higher. I'm just explaining this in a very quick way. So of course you have many more things and more details about leverage trading, but basically, when you borrow the money, you have to pay some fees, and the BitMEX funding rate is exactly the percentage of the fees you have to pay according to the money that you borrowed to trade the assets that you want to trade. So that's the BitMEX funding rate. So let me give you an example. If, let's suppose, you borrow, you trade with 10x leverage, which is too much in my opinion for this market. But let's suppose you trade with 10x, so you enter a position and you borrow. So let's suppose you buy 1 Bitcoin, and no, let's not go there because the numbers will be very complicated. Let's suppose you have to borrow, you buy a position with $1,000 and you go with 10x leverage, which means that you are only using $100 and the other $900 are borrowed. So the BitMEX funding rate is the percentage you have to pay for those $900 that you borrowed. And usually the exchanges charge you a fee with a small percentage on top of those $900 every 8 hours. So basically that's the BitMEX funding rate. So if the BitMEX funding rate is, let's say, 0.1%, it means that they are charging you a fee of 0.1% on those $900 that you borrowed. Okay, I hope I explained this in a way that Paulo understands. Okay, David, no problem. Leak stuff. No mistakes on live stream. I hope not. Oh, here is one of the oldest fans of the channel. Kapka Filipova is here. Once again, we break up on the weekend after CME close on low volume. What's your take on that? Sorry, Kapka, I did not even check the CME close on low volume, so I don't really know what's happening on the CME. But as expected, the technical analysis for me is more relevant than any kind of fundamentals or any other aspects of the market. So I just follow what the technical analysis tells me. And in this case, the technical analysis was telling me that we were really close to a breakout, independently of any close or the CME or any options that were ending the the dates of the options were coming to a close. So I don't really know. I didn't check the CME. Sorry, I don't know how to answer that one. Let's see here. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis is saying that they enjoy the educational videos from Singapore. Wow, I didn't know that this channel was reaching such a big distance. By the way, I was in Singapore a few years ago when I was working for a company. I was a project manager. I went to Singapore to manage a project that we were implementing there. I spent 2 weeks in Singapore and I really enjoyed it. Really nice place. Very hot, by the way. It's like summer all year round. But as I'm from Portugal, the south of Portugal is also very hot in the summer, so we are used to it. Very nice place, by the way. Maria do Carmo is asking me, can you check the BTC dominance? Sure, I can. The chart is here. We are in a correction, 1 to 4 candle correction. I like to see the dominance on my other, let me just check here. I like to check the dominance on this Pro Indicators framework because I have everything set up. Let's go to the weekly chart. Whoa. We are about to have a reversal, by the way. According to this chart, I see a reversal happening on the BTC dominance. We are reaching the support, as you can see. Let me just zoom a bit. So what's happening is we are reaching the support context, the gray area. We already touched it, by the way, because we are starting a new box for the support context here, and we already touched it, and we are now even going back up a bit. We already crossed the predicted bottom here for this price action, for this structure, and we are exactly going going zigzag between the contexts, which is really good. This indicator is really good because it predicts a lot where the support will occur and the resistance will occur, as you can see. That's a very good thing. The trend channel is a bit crazy because of this movement so quickly, and we are below the medium of the context. So looking at here, I believe that we are about to have a reversal in the BTC dominance. This also gives me indication that this breakout is really strong, because the breakout itself could mean that this reversal on the BTC dominance is going to occur again. We might be on the verge of going back up in a new zigzag, and that's exactly what's happening here. If you look at the momentum, we have the sine wave and the momentum in oversold territory, and they are now turning back up again. So I believe we are starting, if not today, but in the next few days, we are starting a new reversal on the Bitcoin dominance, and that could mean some blood for the altcoins in the short term. But I believe that Bitcoin will, with this breakout we are starting now, will have a higher BTC dominance. And that could mean that the altcoins will suffer a bit. But I also believe that after the first days or weeks of the breakout, the altcoins, or even I like to check Ethereum in this case, will keep up and will also go up, just following Bitcoin as usual. And then let's see what happens. But I see according to this chart, I see the BTC dominance going back up again. Okay. No problem, David. Thank you. And Paulo, also thank you for asking, and always here to help you guys understand the things that you don't yet. But if it's in my reach, I will help. Yeah. Bichimoku says, BitMEX is where you go to get wrecked. Yep. It happened to me several times, and I bet it happens to a lot of people. It's true. When you trade with leverage, and I've been saying this to Maria do Carmo, and that sometimes it seems really easy, but it's really easy also to get wrecked. Okay, guys, send me more questions. I can see weekly MRI top 3 with my chart, but tone-based chart not showing weekly MRI. I don't really know if I understand your question. I can see weekly MRI top 3 with my chart. Sorry, Mangesh, I don't really understand what you mean. Maybe you can write it again. At 10x, if you use 0.1 BTC capital margin, then you get 1 BTC, and if BTC goes up $1, you get $1, and vice versa. Exactly. Yeah, so it would be much easier for me to explain with 10x and 0.1 BTC. So if you basically what leak stuff is saying is, I guess it was for Paulo. So basically you can trade the amount of 1 BTC in contracts, because you are not really buying unless you use the coin leverage. But usually I use futures settled in USDT. This is also one of the trades I have. I don't just trade the Bitcoin itself. I also trade futures on Binance, and I use the futures settled in USDT, which means that I'm buying contracts with USDT, and I am settling them on USDT too. So I don't actually buy the Bitcoin asset. I'm just buying the contracts in US dollars. And basically, if you buy 0.1 BTC contracts in US dollars with 10x leverage, you are actually buying the equivalent of 1 Bitcoin in contracts. And that's much easier. Actually, that's one of the trades I usually do. I buy 0.1 and I use 10x leverage. It's much easier to understand it like that. According to you, with your technique, what would be the next big top before a big correction? I would say that it could be between the 75. I know this is a very big range, but as Bitcoin is going up, so this is the question. Sorry, sometimes I forget to mention the name of the person, André Flor, and basically he's asking what would be my prediction for a big top before a big correction. So let me just go to the price to time model, which would be much easier to explain this to you. So what's happening here on my model is I believe that we are not going to have a bull run like we had in 2017. I think that we could have something much closer to the 2013 bull run, which had a local top before the overall top of that bull run. So according to the price to time model, we should top this bull cycle around the end of the summer, in September, the end of September probably, or during the month of September. Although it points here to the first week of October, but I believe that if we continue to go exponentially higher like this, probably we are going to top before October. but I believe that we could have an exponential rise somewhere in this area that is not yet fulfilled for the price action. We could have something like that, and then a correction to the final top again, or we could just continue to go up, overextend above the curved line, and then have a big correction like 40%, 50%. I believe that this could occur between, and now I'm going to give you what I think. I believe that we could have that from the 70K to the 90K. So it's a $20,000 difference, but I believe that the first big local top and bigger correction might occur in between the 70 to 90K area of the price action. The killer PT. Yeah, guys, you are writing in Portuguese, and that's not that's not very good for the English speakers in the channel. So I understand, of course, but they will not. But thank you. He was just complimenting me about my English. And therefore, weekly MRI top on my BTC USD chart. Yes, Mangesh, but the problem is I don't know what time frame you are using. So you are saying that you have an MRI top 3 on your BTC USD chart, but I don't know if this is on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the weekly, the daily. Renan, what are the blue and yellow bars from the BitMEX funding rate? Are they important or just their size? Usually I don't really care about this. Actually, I've asked myself this. I tried to investigate how the so this is a question from Renan, and he is asking me about the difference in color for these bars that you see here. Let's go to the 1 hour. It's easier to show. I've been asking myself why the bar is blue and yellow, and although I never investigated that, I know that the funding rate is based on the complete bar and not just the color, because this is like a difference. But I believe that the colors mean the longs versus shorts, because if you look at this indicator I have here, which is the volume by price on the right side of the chart, the blue means the buys and the yellow means the sells of Bitcoin, and this is on the spot market. And so usually people tend to use the same colors to differentiate buying from selling, and I believe that the complete bar is the yellow is the sell and the blue is the the short is the yellow and the long is the blue. This is what I believe it is, although I'm not sure. So I am honest with you guys. I never tried to check how the guy that wrote this indicator classifies the colors, but I believe that he means the blues as long and the yellows as short. Bichimoku is asking me what's my opinion on Dan Held's super cycle. I heard it just for, I didn't pay very much attention. I heard about what this is, and I think there is a very high possibility of this occurring. And so as I understand the super cycle, this means that we could see extremely high price levels for this bull run, which already by the price to time model, I believe that we could reach the 200 and something. It's a very high level already for the current price action. But as I heard, and I'm not sure about this, I was reading just during a short period of time about this super cycle. I believe it's possible, and we could reach, or it could be like an exponential rise to really high levels of Bitcoin price. And I believe there's a probability of this happening because of the economic conditions in the world right now, with the hyperinflation starting in the United States on the dollar, which is the world reserve currency, as you guys all know. And because of that, if hyperinflation happens on the dollar, this will influence all the world's economy. And that will be a big problem that I'm expecting to happen still this year or maximum next year. And in that case, a lot of institutions, retail buyers, big companies, big tech, everyone is going to try to hedge against the inflation by buying Bitcoin. And in that case, I believe that the super cycle, if that happens, I believe the super cycle is a very possible situation for Bitcoin. And it could mean that not only we can achieve the levels of the models that we have right now, but also because of that hyperinflation of the dollar, we could see much higher levels, with everyone trying to protect their assets and their balance sheets, and big companies trying to protect all the money they have. So that could mean a very exponential rise of Bitcoin. So it's possible. I believe it's possible, but a lot of conditions have to be met all around the world for that to happen. So let's see how this evolves during the current year and how the hyperinflation will evolve. And we will have more certainty for sure during the summer. And I also believe that Plan B also discussed this a bit, and his model, the stock to flow model, also is also based on these market conditions with the cross asset model that he added to the model right now this year. I believe he's accounting for that possibility of hyperinflation and all that, and so I think it's possible. The chat is filtering me. Why? I didn't do anything, actually. I don't even know how to configure the chat yet. I know it's possible to have a delay on the chat for people that write too much or try to spam, but I didn't do anything. I just started the stream with the default options that you two had. It's the first time I'm using the live stream settings, so I don't really know. What time frame to 200K this year? I believe so. Leak stuff is asking me what's the time frame for 200K, if this will happen this year. Well, according to the price to time model that I published some time ago in January, in the beginning of the year, I believe that we will reach to 280K this year. So we go to 70-90, have a dip, and then maybe 200. Yeah, that's what I believe that will happen. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong and it doesn't happen, I will be the first one to come here and tell you guys that it didn't happen and that my model was completely wrong. But let me just change a chart and see what's happening on Bitcoin. While we are live, I can also see what's happening. Okay, so yeah, this is the one. So as you guys know, I use the index. I don't use for Bitcoin. My technical analysis is done with this new index by TradingView, which updates all the time. So it's a real-time index, not just like the BLX, which is not real-time. I guess ToneVase uses this one too. So actually, I learned about this index released by TradingView from ToneVase, and I started to use all my analysis on this index too. Okay, so yeah, so just going back a bit to the question by Leak Stuff. Yes, I believe that we could go for a top around 70 to 90, then we have a big correction that could be higher than 20%. We could get back down to, if we go to, for example, if you go to 70, I believe the correction could take us back to 50 again and retest the break of this triangle. For example, if we go to 90, but also depends on the time, because it's not just how high we go, it's how fast we go to that price level. And the faster you go to a price level, the bigger the correction will be. and that's why the price to time model curve is exponential. So it's a logarithmic chart. So of course, as you go up, it's exponential, and if you cross that line to the upside in a very, very exponential or vertical way, of course the correction will be bigger, just like it happened on 2013. I have another loyal follower here saying that he is driving, but he wanted to say hi. Hi, Marco. Okay, Andrea Fleur, just for info, Fed took the data. Yeah. I know this. I know they did that. Yeah, the Fed removed. I don't know if this was the M1 or the M2 chart, which shows how much dollars were printed in a certain amount of time, and they just removed that from the website of the Fed. Yeah, that's completely crazy. So I guess they are just trying to hide the complete shit they are doing right now with the dollar, printing more and more and more, and as people say, brrr, and the printer doesn't stop. And they are trying to remove that information from the public, but of course everyone is informed about this already. Let me just check something. Guys, we have been live for 1 hour already. If you guys want me to continue just a bit more, it's okay. I have a few more minutes, but let's not make this very long video, because then no one will watch it. If they just come back to the channel later and it's not live, they will not watch it because it's very long. Okay, let's see more questions. Just want to say thank you to my neighbor. Your work is very appreciated here. Neighbor, can you explain it further, Samuel, please? Are you my neighbor in the same city or just closer to me, like houses away? What are those numbers and stars on the chart? Paid indicator? Yes, the killer. Yes, so this is the MRI indicator by Tom Vase. Of course, it's paid. It's a very good indicator. It's based on Tom DeMark's invention of many years ago. So basically, it counts the number of candles to the upside and the number of candles to the downside, and it's based on the psychological time that usually price takes to have a reversal on the price action. So what Tom DeMark noticed when he created this indicator was that usually every price action, every trend, small trend of the price action to the upside or to the downside takes 9 candles, takes 9 periods of time, and this is directly connected to the psychological way people think about the markets. So basically what happens is this is just the main strategy. So basically when a reversal occurs and the price starts to go up, usually it goes up during 9 candles. And if the same occurs to the downside, when you have a reversal to the downside, then the price, the number of candles to the downside will be 9. But sometimes there's a difference. You have to read the rules about this. But usually you can have a 1 to 4 candle correction instead of 9, and then continue the previous trend, again resetting the count. So there's a lot of things that you have to read to understand how the numbers work. But usually the number 9 candle indicates a reversal, and the number 8 in this indicator by Tom Vase, because it was improved. So this is based on the Tom DeMark's indicator, but it was improved in many ways. And basically you have more warnings and stuff like that. So when you get to the 8th candle of a trend, then it gets a warning so that you know the next candle could be a top. And when you have a top or a bottom, the price could reverse, and the indicator tells you that. The stars are just this is also something that Tom Vase added to the indicator, and the green star means that this is a buy signal. So the price action structure is in a good way to buy, because it is expected that after that green star, the price could continue to rise, as you see here, for example. Some stars fail, but you have to start by understanding the indicator better. So, for example, in this candle here, you have a green star. What happened next was the breakout. So basically, the green star indicates that we might be on the verge of a rise in the price. The red star indicates that we might be on the verge of a decline in the price. Sometimes the stars and the red and the green, they don't actually point to a good prediction, but in many other cases also point to a good prediction, like this one, for example, when you had a green star and then you had this big breakout. This is an addition by Tom Weiss, by the way, and he is developer, because Tom DeMark did not have the stars in his indicator. Okay, let's see any more questions. By the way, the killer, if you want to know where to get this indicator, which is very good, by the way, you can go to the description of my videos, and it's named the MRI Indicator, and you have the link, and the link will take you to Tom Weiss' site and the page for the indicator, so you can check it there. You can also read about how to use this indicator on that website. Oh, I thought, Andrea, I thought they only removed the M2 one, which is the one that shows the printing of the dollar. But you are telling me that they removed all of them, the M1, M2, M3, and so forth? I didn't know that. I just, I thought they only removed the M2. By the way, guys, can you just tell me something? Is the audio, when you hear my voice, is it synced with the video? So can you see it synced with my mouth or not? Or is the audio and the video out of sync? If someone can answer me that in the chat, I would thank you. Leak stuff. Yeah, leak stuff is saying that I don't shield like the other guys. Yeah, I hate that. I don't like. I'm not going to mention any names, but I usually just watch some guys just for information purposes. You know, of course, of who I'm talking about. These are the guys that have thousands and thousands of views and subscribers to their channels, which I really doubt they really have, but there are click farms everywhere in this world. But anyway, you know, these guys, they make a lot of money by shilling leverage exchanges, and that's not my point of view. That's not the way I like to talk about the markets, and I hope you guys will see that in the future. I never shill any leverage trading exchanges or any products. I don't consider... I'm not saying that in the future I could not be sponsored by some product or company, but I will never be sponsored by products or companies which I don't believe in, or I believe that they could harm traders in any way. So I don't like that. Okay, that's good. That's good. It means my computer is keeping up with the sound and the video, because when sometimes when you see my recorded videos, you see that the sound gets out of sync of the video, and then it gets synced again, and there's nothing I can do about that, because you know, if this was out of sync for the entire length of the video, I could just move the sound in my editing software and sync it again, but it's not that the case. It's just the case that the video sometimes gets delayed and then back on track, so it's impossible to get everything synced when the computer starts lagging. Sorry for that, but sometimes it's impossible to avoid it in my recorded videos, but I'm glad that in the stream it's all is going fine. Also, by the way, leak stuff is saying that it could be my breathing, but I believe it's the fans of the computer, because I have a MacBook Pro, several years old already, and as the computer is trying to keep up, the fans are like going like crazy on 6,000 RPM. So also you might hear some sounds from the fans. I apologize for that, but there's nothing I can do. Okay. When a friend of mine told me yeah, thank you, the killer. Yes, I am. I like to think about myself as legit. I'm not. I hate scammers. I know. I had a story a few years ago when I started in this space. Just by the way, just short information about myself. I started to hear about Bitcoin the first time in 2015, 2016. Around that time, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2017. And in 2017, I knew this guy. He was an old friend of mine, and he started to scam people with those. I don't know if you guys were in the space by then. In 2017, it was very common to see or to have websites where you could have this pyramid scheme, where you could enter the pyramid scheme with Bitcoin, and then they would keep your Bitcoin, but after some time they would give you like the same Bitcoin with 25% after 1 month or 4 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. So you could like make 25 to 50% on top of your money in just 3 weeks. And this guy was scamming a lot of people, people that I know personally, and some people I don't know personally, but you know, they are still people. And for that matter, I got very, you know, I started to be really angry at people that scam other people in the space. It's really bad for the person that gets scammed because they lose a lot of money. Sometimes it's money they need. And it's also very bad for the image, the outside image of the space, like people that don't know Bitcoin or crypto or anything like that, and they always hear about the scams and the illegal stuff that people are doing with Bitcoin, and they never see the advantages. So it's also bad for us that we are in the space that people think like that. So that's why I hate scammers. I don't like them, and I will never shill anything that could scam you or take your money. User XXX is saying that Tone Vase talks too much about politics and too little about Bitcoin. Well, I don't have. I really have a good opinion about Tone Vase. He was one of the first guys I started to follow when I got into the space, and I learned a lot. Actually, I can say that my first trades were based on his videos, and I started to learn a lot how to trade after watching Tone Vase. So of course I have a very good opinion of Tone Vase, and I'm not going to criticize the fact that he speaks a lot about politics, because I myself speak a lot about politics, not in my videos, but I get worried a lot about how the world is going in the future because of politics. And I think politics are important in the sense that, for example, when you have the Fed or any other central banks printing so much money and trying to correct problems that are not correctable or don't have any easy solution, that's also because of politics. And politics influence a lot the way you live and the way the markets are driven. So, of course, I believe that's why Tone Vase is talking a lot about politics, and also because of the COVID situation now, and everyone is in lockdown and all that crazy stuff. And also, I'm also against that. But anyway, I'm not going to use all the time of the video just to discuss politics, for sure. I prefer to discuss Bitcoin and the chart. Yeah, I know. I'm also not saying he's a bad trader. He's a very good trader, by the way. And if he had more time and not just, I know he's into this indication stuff now and he loves to educate people about Bitcoin. But if he had more time, for sure, I'm sure that he would have really nice trades if he was only doing that. And he could be much more... he could be much richer than he is if he was just paying attention to his own trades and instead of educating people. That's why I like Tone Vays so much. I think he's a great guy because he spends a lot of time trying to educate people and to evangelize people to understand the space of crypto and Bitcoin most of all, because I know he hates all the other coins. I'm also a bit of a maximalist, but I guess Tone Vays takes that to the extreme. But anyway, I think he's very legit. He's a very good trader, and he is now pursuing a new path, I believe, which is educating people. And I think it has very good merit. And I'm always supporting him in any way I can if he needs any support from me. So, guys, so we are now 1 hour and 20 minutes. Into this video, almost 1 hour and 17 minutes. If you want to continue for a few more minutes and have 1.5 hours, press 1. If you are already tired of me, press 0, and let's see what happens. And in the meantime, I'm just going to have I just need already to have my vaping stuff here. This is going to get foggy now because I'm just, I need to smoke a bit. League Stuff wants me to continue. And Tiago too. Well, thank you very much. Actually, I didn't think that the first live stream would be so good because I had a small problem at the beginning with the sound. No one could hear the music while the waiting screen was live. But as soon as I found a way to channel the sound to the correct channel to the stream, then everything went fine. And I'm actually very happy that I'm able to have this. Let's just check. Let me just check here how many people are live. Wow, 59 live viewers, 21 right now. So I have 21 people now. I was not expecting so many people on the stream. And we already peaked at 60 people. I was not expecting, really. So I think this is very good. I'm happy, guys. I'm happy that you are enjoying and that you think it's good content. So thank you. Thank you very much for that. Nutella. You miss smoking? Well, I miss smoking every day because I stopped smoking cigarettes. Maria do Carmo misses smoking. I would not miss that. I stopped smoking cigarettes a long time ago. I started to smoke. I started to vape, which is the actually word you should use. I started to vape with this kind of machine in 2016, and I don't miss the cigarettes, I can tell you that. And my lungs feel much better. And one of the big problems I corrected with my health was the fact that every morning when I woke up, I had a lot of coughing because of the cigarettes. And now because of vaping, I don't have that anymore. So, of course, nothing is perfect. I believe this also has some kind of problems or can provoke some problems to your health, but at least it's much better than cigarettes. Yeah, I guess everyone is happy because of the pump, not because of my content, right? You guys are bad to me. So let's make a deal. I'll stay for 10 minutes more because, you know, in this house, the one cooking dinner, it's me. And in Portugal, it's already, let's see. Oh, it's 6:15. So I will have to go around 6:30, if you guys don't mind, please. Because I still have to chill and do something I really like, which is to cook. And it really helps me not to stress. So I will have to go soon. Let's grow the community and the crypto universe in Algarve and Portugal. Yeah, sure. I'm all for that. Although I'm not really happy with what's happening in Portugal at the moment, with the political, you know, ecosystem. Let's call it like that. And I'm planning maybe to move to some other country where you can have more freedom, where you are not in lockdowns and all that stuff. But anyway, for now I'm here, and let's see what happens. I'm not going to spend any time discussing politics. Don't worry. I believe in Lisbon you have Bitcoin meetups. I used to live in Lisbon for a long time. Actually, I lived in Lisbon more years of my life than in my hometown, where I am now. Then I moved to Portimão for personal reasons in 2017. And I don't really know about the Bitcoin meetups in Lisbon or how often they occur or how good they are, but I'm sure there are a few because I heard about it and I read some articles about this. But I never went to any because I've been in Portimão since 2017, so I don't know what's happening in Lisbon right now. I will go back to Lisbon sometime soon. I still don't know, so it's not very well defined my location for the future yet. Hey Kapka, thank you. Do you think so? Because at the beginning when I started to record my videos I was very shy. But now you think I'm a natural. Okay, that's good. That's good. It means I evolved the way I behave in front of the camera. I know that sometimes you see me doing like this on the videos, and this is because I have this tic of just moving my legs all the time. But I will try to stop doing that when I'm on the stream or recording videos. Yeah, Maria do Carmo, you are shilling your restaurant right now. No problem. I'm looking forward to visit your restaurant when the lockdowns are over, and maybe we can have some private Bitcoin meetings. That would be nice. At least it's a place where people can be privately in a group, you know, get to know each other, and that would be nice. Don't worry, I'm just joking with you. You can shill your restaurant wherever you want in the chat. So guys, do you want me to let's put the Portuguese politics on the blockchain, track everything they do? Ooh, that would be really nice. I guess politicians would have a hard time if we do that. If everything was on the blockchain and everything was public on the blockchain, they would be completely fucked. Oh, can I say fucked? No, maybe not. I hope they don't block my video. So who's making money today? I don't like the, let me check the 4-hour here. Oops. I wrote 4-hour in the chat instead of writing it on TradingView. First mistake of the stream. The price is holding very nicely here. I just don't like the warning. I don't like this warning here. I don't like this MRI warning because the next candle will be an MRI top and I don't like it. I'm still long on Bitcoin in the leverage trading, but my stop loss is very close. I can tell you I have a stop. Oh, maybe I'm not long anymore. Yeah, my stop loss was, or maybe not. Let me check. Let me see if Binance closed my long because of the stop loss. Nope, I'm still long by a really small. I had my stop loss around 59,900 and we still didn't go there. That's a nice long I have here. So if it's closed, I will open it back again. No problem. Leak stuff. I wish I could. I wish I could add every candle with a green star, but yeah, maybe you can ask that to Tone Vase and his developer. Maybe they can just make a special a special indicator for that. But actually, I started this long on the previous swing low, around the previous swing low. So I entered this long around here. Maybe, if I'm not mistaken, it was around here when this candle started to break the 100 period moving average, and I've been long since then. But now I raised my stop loss. Maybe I shouldn't have my stop loss so high. Maybe I should just put it here because I believe we could have a retracement back to the top of the triangle and then continue to the upside. So maybe I would be stopped out if I continue to have my stop loss there. But I guess I calculated very well because my stop loss is around here. And we didn't touch my stop loss yet. So maybe I should just move my stop loss a bit down again and not be stopped out. No, Bichimoku, I thank you guys for being here and so supportive all the time. For the first live stream, I was a bit nervous before starting the stream and the sound was not okay, but now I see that you guys are really supportive and I thank you all for that. You don't have to thank me. It's my pleasure to do this. I really enjoy to analyze charts and help people understand it. Yes, Hank Jones, I move my stop losses sometimes. Usually when I see some kind of reversal, big reversal could occur. For example, I could move my stop loss closer to the price action. And if a really strong reversal occurs, then my stop loss is stopped out and then I keep almost all the profits. And then I'm able to get back in again in a later time or something like that. If I see that the price action is just very volatile, but I want to continue in that long position, I will just move the stop loss to some area where I know the volatility will not hit it, and I will not be stopped out and still be able to continue in that long. Okay, guys, this is already 1 hour and 30 minutes into the stream. Probably we could end it here for today, and I promise I will be back with live streams again. Let me just move to the to stop the screen share. Okay, I hope you enjoy my backgrounds, by the way. I'm thinking also of changing the backgrounds a bit because I've been using these ones for long. So let's see. If you are just going to buy again, then why not limit sell here and buy back in? You can always buy down. Well, there are different strategies. You can use that one. I like to think about my stop loss. Sometimes when I see that the volatility could send the price down a lot, I like to think my stop loss of a trailing stop loss, that I usually move it as the price goes up. And so when it reverses in a very volatile way, my stop loss is executed and I am stopped out. Or instead of just trying to guess with a limit order where the top will be, I think it's a bit harder than just use it as a trailing stop loss and just move it up with the price. But you know, that's just a different strategy from some other people, so I guess it's almost the same. Okay, guys, yeah, everyone is thanking, no problem. I will try to not just record videos, but also have more live streams. And thank you all for this first live stream. You have been very supportive, and I hope everything went fine. No big problems except for the sound at the beginning, but except for that, I guess the first live stream was very, very good. I was not expecting so many people, by the way. And thank you again to all of you for supporting this channel. And I will see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.